Hello Cancer, Cancer Rising, and Cancer Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting November 27th, 2017. And just a quick reminder for all of you out there, remember, if you ever want to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or you can just follow the links below. It's the same place you would go to get a downloadable video file or to schedule a session with me. So what is going on with your astrology this week anyway? Well, on Tuesday, we've got Mercury, planet of communications, haste and speed, in your 6th house of work, reputation, and your schedule, forming a tight conjunction with Saturn that's already there. And there may be some kind of check that needs to be done, whether you're checking someone else, alright, or there needs to be a check on some kind of project you're working on, or maybe with the personnel you are sharing with. Usually with Mercury conjunct Saturn, this can, I've been telling everyone, it's a general horoscope, so your mileage may vary, but we're talking about corrective action being taken on something that is no longer working or something that is starting to go a bit wrong. Now, this could be a group project. We may be kind of finding that, there's a weak link in the chain, so to speak, and we need to take corrective action on that. Or we may be correcting a substantial error, either in the way the project is being done, scheduled, or who has been scheduling us or giving us the wrong work. Don't be afraid to speak up at this time. Everyone needs to. On Saturday, we've got Jupiter, planet of luck, abundance, and expansion in your 5th house of love, romance, and your relationships with your kids, forming a lovely trine to Neptune in your 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, cultural expansion, and travel. And this could be a lovely opportunity for a lot of you single Cancerians to actually meet somebody in this capacity. There may actually be an opportunity for you to meet love at school, at the college, the university, or you may actually be meeting love while traveling or while they are traveling. This is also a wonderful time for a lot of you who are perhaps actually looking for love in a partner that is more spiritual, more spiritually active, and spiritually disciplined. This is actually the time for a lot of people who are already in that. It's a part of their lifestyle. It's not just a hobby. You want somebody more serious in that respect, here you go. The thing about Jupiter trine to Neptune, though, is that, usually this will come in the form of a gift or even a setup. This person may be put in your path. So what is going on with your cards this week? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the Harlequin. And the Harlequin, if you read the prompt, I don't know if you can read the prompt, it basically says true feelings are masked. And this week it's important to pay attention to where that is happening. When we talk about true feelings being masked, they could be positive, they could be negative feelings. When we talk about the Harlequin, though, we've got to also look at the message of why do people censor themselves? Why are people hiding their feelings? Sometimes they're not doing it to protect themselves. Sometimes they are doing it because it's kind of the cultural expectation of the group, of the office, of the family, of the whatever. And Harlequin is basically saying this week it's not a good idea to just trust something on its surface. Again, we're trying to delve into deeper relationships and deeper understandings of how we are all going to relate to each other. Sometimes, you see groups, churches, or work cultures and things like that. They relate to each other as parts of a unit as opposed to individuals who choose to be a part of that unit. And that's a big lesson the Geminis are going to have to learn this week as well, a lot of you early zodiac signs. And it's important to allow yourself to forge those individual relationships so those masks can come off, if you want to. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to feel a bit superficial, especially with new people. For your Earth sector, when it comes to work and finances, we do have, again, the Wheel of Fortune upright. Looks like a random switch-up or some random chaos actually seems to be working in your favor. The Wheel of Fortune does indicate a chance, opportunity to elevate your status or elevate your position or to get more, simply by, again, taking advantage of perhaps something that seems to, again, go off or go a bit wrong, or perhaps even gets a bit of a shake-up. We talked about that Mercury conjunct Saturn. We're taking corrective action. Well, the Wheel of Fortune is saying this corrective action is also an opportunity to correct a mistake in the very beginning. If we were supposed to be doing something more, getting more compensation, maybe we were meant to be scheduled a completely different day, maybe this is a situation where we can renegotiate benefits. The Wheel of Fortune upright is basically saying a lot of that will be gifted to you. this week should you allow to enjoy, again, a little bit of chaos that's being brought to order. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we do have the Four of Cups upright. And we may actually have one of those talks with a friend or a relative where we're kind of losing touch with one another. Usually with the Four of Cups we see a sense of boredom, things are stagnating, they're just kind of wash, rinse, and repeat. And with the Four of Cups, it's sort of begging a lot of you Cancerian people to, again, pay attention to where tradition and routine has just taken way too much of a precedent over your individual relationships. Because the Four of Cups is saying there is a drift going on with a friend or a relative that can be mended should we choose to deviate from our norm. Now, they may be feeling the same drift, they may be feeling the same sense of ho-hum, but if we're not both willing to take the risk of just doing it a different way, we may get stuck in that routine, and we don't want that. For your challenge this week with fire, I've got the Empress upright. Hardly a challenge at all. The Empress talks about a focus on longevity, and again, we're talking about increased fertility or increasing the yield of what we get out of what we're working with. When we talk about increasing the yield, fertility isn't just about childbirth and crops. It's talking about bigger payoffs. And the Empress is saying, again, there's a lot of ways for a shrewd Cancer to actually start getting a bigger payoff out of a lot of things that they're already doing. The Empress as a challenge can also indicate a need to focus on grounding perhaps an emotional situation that's lost a sense of practicality. Whether it's possibly a relationship with a kid or a lover, sometimes we can get so caught up in the passion and the Disney that we kind of forget to pay the bills. And it's important, that's just a metaphor, but, it's important to pay attention to where, things do need to get grounded and solid so that it can also, weather any challenge that comes. And sometimes they already have a strong relationship and it's just about patching a little leak. But other than that, it's hardly a challenge to deal with. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Hangman upright. And the Hangman is kind of interesting because we do see, a partner or a crush sort of taking themselves out of the situation for a week. Not necessarily in a bad way. We're not talking about ghosting, and every time I say ghosting, people start writing stories about how they were ghosted, so please don't do that. No, it's really more about, this person actually deciding to take their hands off a situation they have no business having their hands on. Now, this might not have to do with you. This might be a partner or a crush realizing they might not be good at something. They might not be meant for something. And your job is to actually kind of encourage them not to, again, act like somebody they're not. Remember, true love means being who you are, not trying to be like somebody you thought was supposed to be in a relationship based on roles and routines and traditions, which is what your whole week is all about. And the Hangman could actually say that this is actually a worthy sacrifice that your partner or your crush is actually making for the relationship. Maybe he or she has been trying to take on a role or live a life or live an identity that they're just plain not good at. Doesn't mean they're inept or stupid, it just means that's not who they're supposed to be. Interestingly enough, we have better coming from this person. Whether it's a better performance, a better relationship, again, a better work ethic, if we just allow them to take their hands away from doing what they thought they were supposed to do and instead doing what they have aptitude for. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.